As a self-defender, you gotta know when it's time to comply and when it's time to use your firearm. The Mantis X firearms training system attaches to any gun with a rail and to your phone via Bluetooth to track barrel movement every shot you take. Use it to help you be the most accurate, fastest shot you possibly can in a defensive encounter. I use it in my training all the time. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Here we're going to see an off-duty Brazilian cop who is going to get motorcycle jacked. And it's going to teach us some significant and important lessons about transitional spaces, particularly how those apply to your vehicle, about when the right time that it is to comply, and about only using your firearm to defend yourself and other life. Our intended victim is the guy on the motorcycle, and you can see this guy come up to him and he's threatening him with a 45. You go read the news story, they found that 45 on him when they caught him. And now our good guy is just gonna let it go. He's like, hey man, you can have it. Here's the helmet, there's the bike, gets off the bike, and that's fine. And when the bad guy gets on his bike, you're gonna see our good guy keep looking back, keep looking back. Well, he's an off-duty cop in Rio, draws his own gun and puts at least a couple shots in the guy. And again, if you go read the news story, the perp took the room temperature challenge and this one's over. Let's go back and think about some significant lessons out of this one. First one I want to think about is transitional spaces, particularly with your vehicle. The reason that this guy was attacked is he was in a stopped vehicle. Your vehicle, be it a motorcycle or a car, becomes a transitional space when it is stopped where people are coming and going. And we're going to see him come right up to him right there. And now you notice our good guy here, he's working his gear shift. That's what that left foot is a gear shift. And he might have thought for just a minute there about taking off, but he doesn't have a good avenue of escape. So he instead decides to give it up. And that's a good strategy. Look, if you don't have a good route of escape, hey, don't try it. Just comply and let it go. It's exactly what our good guy did here. Give it up to him, get his hands in the air. I'm not a threat to you, bro. Take it and go. And if you don't, if the guy's got the drop on you like that, that may be your best solution. And so that's exactly what this guy did here. Of course, if he was in a car with family or something, that would be something else. But in this case, just a motorcycle. Let it go. You just file an insurance claim. Now, you notice he keeps looking back. I do like here that our off-duty officer has gone away. He hasn't stayed there right in front of the guy, but he's walked off at a good pace. And I think that's really, really wise. Keeps looking back and seeing if the guy's doing. I think he's trying to launch his counter ambush there. Now, what we're going to see is as he goes, we see our officer draw his gun here. Now, let's talk about this for just a minute, because as a police officer, if he was here in the United States, he's got the requirement that he's supposed to be stopping crime and those kind of things. But if you're not a law enforcement officer, was it a good idea to draw a gun in this instance? Was your life at risk? Probably not. And I would suggest that you not draw a firearm to defend property. Now, I know there's always going to be somebody from Texas who's going to say we can do that in Texas. And Texas does have unique laws on the protection of property. Georgia, too, forcible felony like this of carjacking. But I don't know that it was wise, because we see his first shot go off here. And what was his backstop? You saw the guy who's on his bike start to dodge and get away. And his backstop is other cars, the sidewalk, the buildings behind him. Very difficult to make sure that your bullet goes into the right place under stress here. And then as he continues to do more follow-up shots, look at what he does. He steps out into the lane of traffic where thankfully the dash cam of the car that we're looking through here decided not to run him over, or was aware enough not to, but he put himself at very significant risk, legally as well as physically. So this is why I don't recommend it. Don't use a firearm in those instances. Now, the officer did a good job and he put his shots on target. And again, that guy took the room temperature challenge. So, success covers a lot of problems. In the end, I think he did a good job of complying when he needed to, did a good job of getting out of the danger zone. Some questions about using the firearm, but in the end, he took care of the perp and he covered his ass.